because you know I'm all about that bass, no trouble. I'm all about that bass, no trouble. I'm all about that bass, no trouble. I'm all about that bass, bass.
Hello everyone, Scapegoat Stephen back with an update for December for All About the Wraith. This is my journey into Age of Sigmar, specifically starting a Nighthaunt army. So I was able to get hold of the Nighthaunt half of both Soul Strike and Soul Wars from a friend. They were willing to let me have them for a reasonable price. So I started with them principally, and then I've sort of gone through and got a few more items over the Christmas period to add to those, as well as the fact I personally already had a copy of the Knight of Shrouds on foot that I'd bought and partially painted, just because I quite liked the model. So we'll go through a quick painting update first, just to give you an idea as to where I am model-wise. So this one on screen first is that Knight of Shrouds on foot. So this was actually my test model. I'm reasonably happy with him, to be perfectly honest. I'm not a huge fan of the whole black sort of like shoulder cloak and then spectral underneath. So I actually then did a test model on this next one coming up. So Guardian of Souls, this was actually my I guess proper test model. I quite like this scheme. I prefer the more spectral look with the sort of tiny bits of accent with the other colours, the other metals. And actually the basing, I thought, you know, I want to make them stand out against the basing, so I have it sort of very generic, sort of brown, bit of grass, bit of gravel, that sort of thing. And actually I thought, you know what, we're going to be invading other realms. We're not going to be in Shyish, waddling around, not, you know, wallowing in self-pity. We're going to be out there in another realm, taking the fight to other people. So why not do some slightly different basing? It sort of went from there. So this next model that I've actually finished painting was the Spirit Torment. A very odd model, I'll be honest. It's very, very flimsy to me, or it seems very flimsy, like the connection is only one sort of bit of the plastic. I mean, the plastic is a little bit forgiving because it's sort of quite hard plastic, so it's a little bit springy almost. My worry is if they're not stored and carried properly, is actually it's quite easy for some of these models to break. But being a veteran wargamer, I've got quite a few carry solutions, so I'm not so worried. I guess I'm just worried about if you drop it or if you know, accidentally lean on it or something like that. So now we're actually coming into models that I've only partially painted or assembled. So this is my Knight of Shrouds on Spectral Steed. This is literally just a white undercoat. In fact, most of these models coming up are a white undercoat with the lovely Hex Wraith Flame Technical Wash over the top, which is just a brilliant base to then be going from for the rest of the model. So the keen-eyed of you will notice actually this model is on the wrong base. I'm looking to get a replacement base for it. Unfortunately, the model came with the Soul Wars base for sort of the Griffin thing that the Stormcast Eternal is riding. So I built it like that, not realising it was the wrong one. And this is my Lord Executioner. Slightly different here in that I've done the souls floating around him in the blue, a bit like the lantern on the Guardian of Souls. And these are my first 4 Glaive Wraith Stalkers. You can't really... there's not a lot of contrast going on between these guys and the light box that I've used, so apologies there. Hopefully next month there'll be a bit more of an update and they'll have some more colour on them. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? So this picture is just an example of the Chain Rasp Horde I own. So for Christmas I ended up getting a second copy of Soul Wars from some relatives, which means I've actually now got 40 of the Chain Rasp Horde, a couple of the Knights of Shrouds, that sort of thing. We'll come to that later when I talk about what models I've got lying around in my progress so far. So I've got 40 of these Chain Rasp Horde. As you can see, the sort of the bottom left, so the front left, sorry, is an indication of the paint scheme they're eventually going to be. But to give you an idea of the progress of the unit, to be honest, they vary between 20 that are just assembled, which I assembled the other evening, and the other 20 being undercoated and Hex Wraith flamed. So I'm going to get the other 20 up to that same standard and then batch paint. So one thing I will say is I actually ordered some of these brilliant little movement trays from Element Games. Check them out if you're moving around large units. So at the moment I've got, I think it's enough for 40, so it's 8 of these sort of 25mm base cloud formations, they call them. which I've sort of glued together. Basically, you've got to glue the rim onto the base. So I use Gorilla Wood Glue because it's been proven to be really strong for me in the past when I've assembled tournament trays for other systems. So I'm planning to carry on using that. I've also got a set of 6 32mm ones on their way, which should arrive in the next few days, as well as I've got some alternate formation ones for the 25mm, so that they're in lines. I think I'll probably use the clouds more because there's no worry in this version of Age of Sigmar of like large pie plate style, 5-inch AoEs that can cause massive damage to bunched up units that I'm aware of. Of course, being new and not having played a game yet, I don't think that thing exists anymore in any of the Games Workshop games, but I guess I can ask and find out. And these are Hex Wraiths. So actually I had these Hex Wraiths lying around, again, from a previous purchase, where I run an RPG campaign, as I mentioned in the first video, that includes undead. So I bought these, and to be perfectly honest, never got round to assembling them or doing anything with them. So again, they're at the same state that a lot of my other models are at the moment, which is white undercoated with the Hex Wraith flame over the top, just to then go from there to create some further fun with the paint afterwards. And now we're on to non-painted but purely assembled models. So these are the Moorman Banshees that I own. These are 4 of the 12. We'll get onto that in a minute. Again, that I have. I'm quite looking forward to actually getting these all assembled and painted because they are really nice models. And finally, from the assembled front, I managed to get hold of a Shadesbar demo set. Sort of a few months ago, just for that first season demo set, which I think has got some little Khorne Berserkery guys and some Stormcast Eternals in. So I was quite interested in getting hold of the second box, mostly because I was interested in these guys, the Thorns of the Briar Queen, but actually because, you know what, I might give Shadesbar a go. It's quite a small system, therefore I don't need to own too many models. He says having spent a bunch of Christmas money on some others, but that's a completely different thing, honest. So they're really, really nice models, really easy to put together, as with a lot of the Nighthaunt range actually. Now we're on to unassembled models. So as you can see from here, I've got Kurdos and Lady Orlanda. So again, these were presents for Christmas. I'm quite looking forward to assembling them because they are pretty looking models. I've been given mixed views on their use by people when it comes to their actual rules in the game, but you know what, at this stage there's so few Nighthaunt models, I think that I can probably get away with owning quite a lot of them and then just swapping and testing and trying as I go, and just having a bit of fun. So I've also got, as you can see, another 2 boxes of the Moorman Banshees. Like I said, I've got those 12 in total. I've got 2 Dreadblade Harrows, and I've got, well, only pictured there, 2 boxes of Spirit Hosts. I've got a third that is no longer in the box. I need to find where I actually put the box, but I've got the instructions from the other 2 boxes, so it should be alright. So yeah, this is the current status of my models. I've got sort of a checklist, whether or not they're painted or whether or not they're assembled. As you can see, I've got quite a bit to be getting along with. I think I did a very rough calculation. I think I've easily got enough for a 2,000 point army, probably more, once you factor in the characters and various bits like that. So yeah, that's my update for the moment. Again, I haven't played any games, but I'm hoping to play at a 3-round event at the end of January at our local club. It's only 700 points, and I've got ideas swimming around for a list that I've sort of had a chat with one of the other locals about, and he thinks it's a reasonably solid list. The thing I should say, actually, I haven't shown pictures of that is on this list of models is I do have 7, technically 8, Grimghast Reapers. So for some strange reason, the Soul Wars box comes in you get the Grimghast Reapers in units of 4, even though they're units of 10. So it's not even a multiple of 10. And you get the Glaive Wraith Stalkers in units of 5, even though they are units of 4. No idea quite the logic behind that way of building them, but I've managed to get hold of, I've managed to order and wait for them to arrive, another 3 of the Grimghast Reapers. So I will have, well, another 4 technically. So I will have a unit of, in theory, 12, but of those 12 models, 3 of them are the unit leader model. So the reason behind that was if I then buy 2 other boxes and just assemble them as the full 10-man unit without the unit leader, that then gives me the option of either having 1 30-man unit, 3 10-man units, or a combination thereof. So I'm waiting for those to arrive, and then I'll actually have a full unit of Grimghast Reapers as well. So that's me for month 1. Hopefully you've stuck around this long to hear the whole video, and well, I'm looking forward to getting more of these guys painted up actually, and having quite a nice looking army on the battlefield. So that's me for now. Thanks for watching, and I will see you soon.
Because you know I'm all about that bass, no trouble. I'm all about that bass, no trouble. I'm all about that bass, no trouble. I'm all about that bass, bass.